Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we wait for other people to join in, you are most welcome to yet another Deeper for Dinner session, where we shall be talking about a, a topic establishing a winning career path as a student or graduate. You don't want to miss this. Buckle your seatbelts as we shall be waiting for the presenter. Kindly share the webinar link and poster to your WhatsApp groups, statuses, inboxes, so that we can have as many people as possible not to miss out on this valuable information. Share to your colleagues, you can share to your friends. Yes, thank you very much. But before we can welcome a speaker of the day, kindly allow me to briefly share what the JIPA program is about in just about 5 to 10 minutes as we wait for the person to take us through. So I'm going to share my screen in just a few minutes. We can quickly start. Thank you for the time that you have taken to come for this session. So quickly, the GPAP in full is the Graduate Professionals Apprenticeship Program. And what is this program doing really? GPAP is a reskilling program providing hands-on experience. And why being part of this program, you will have access to getting experience, knowledge, and bridging the gap between academia and the industry to access real work opportunities. Who are we targeting? We are looking at graduates, career changers, vacancies, people who are in senior 4, who have finished senior 6. We're looking at university students, people who are still at campus, maybe in their final year or maybe in their second year. So we are looking at such categories of people. When this program is on a monthly basis, meaning that there is a different cohort that happens every month consistently. And it's happening at TechBus Hub in Tinda, that's located in Kampala. It is a full-time program that you need to be at the facility from Monday to Friday. As usually, that's how programs run. It's a program that you'll be able to gain 2 years of experience in just 3 months. So how you'll be able to do this through the mentorship, coaching, and many other things that you'll be have onboarding with. It's ideal for someone who is looking for a job. It's ideal for someone who is navigating workplace history, don't have experience in something. So people who are really looking out for such, this program is waiting for you. The purpose of this program is to build a successful professional career through mentorship, coaching, exposure, and getting access to connections, connecting with like-minded individuals who will be able to connect you to the next opportunity. And the program is limited to 5 people, meaning we accept only 5 people per cohort. Like I said, every month there is a cohort that is ongoing. So a brief history, maybe taking you to how we started, since the program has started since 2017, and so far from 12 cohorts, we have been able to have a success rate of 130 alumni from this cohort. What a wonderful program it is, indeed. Many participants, the participants that we have had, we have been able to have a 96 completion rate, meaning most of the people who have attended this program have been able to complete it. And story, 87% of the participants say the program was indeed impactful. And what the advanced strategy? This program, like I said, it is bridging the gap between industry and academia. I want to, bring them together so that no one really faces issues when it comes to getting real work opportunities. So my next slide shows you the case study of how people have really been jobless. So we brought in a study of 10 years, and we get to realize that 4 million people, at least 4 million people graduate each year, but 700,000 jobs are only available for these 4 million graduates, leaving 3.3 million people unemployed. So where does the other people, where does it leave them? It leaves them in a state of being jobless. So like you can see, as you can see, the Daily Monitor has evidence that in unemployment crisis, bridging the gap between education, Uganda has over 40 universities whereby thousands of students graduate from each university annually. You're looking at, let's say, New Vision, how can we equip graduates with the workplace skills? At least 400,000 people graduate each year, the various public and private universities. And yeah, that is how we have been able to search for the we have been able to search for the people who have been jobless really. So, and Observer says graduates may have to consider dirty jobs. Makerere alone sees more than 12,000 students graduate annually. Lots of people have moved in since the beginning of the year. Why join GPAP program? You'll be able to gain employable skills, getting mentorship, and next value, you'll be able to gain valuable work experience. You'll have people who will be supporting you to gain hands-on experience in the department you really looking out for to get new knowledge, new skills in that specific department. You access networking opportunity where you connect with like-minded individuals, leading you to valuable connection. Maybe you'll get your next job out there. You're looking at personal growth, you're looking at fast-track employment and increasing your chances of getting hired. These are some of the testimonials of people who have gone through our program. I didn't know how to market content after creating it, but through the program, I learned how to strategize my content. This was from Alinda Rutarafu. This one was from the digital and content department. And Best Messenger says, I have learned so much through the program. I wasn't familiar with accounting software like QuickBooks, but I now know how to post receipts and expenses, generate financial reports, among others. So these are just someone who was from the accounting and finance. I believe when I look at software, I think my finance professionals can get familiar with such terms. This is also just a snapshot of people who watch our YouTube mentorship sessions, and Baroda Marvin, who says that GPAP YouTube mentorship sessions reminded me that becoming employable is not just about technical skills. And yeah, those are just some of the testimonials really of people who have been watching our sessions. So this slide shows you among the people who have been part of the program. Yeah, so who is GPAP's best fit? You're looking at students to be able to gain valuable work experience and skills to enhance their employability. You're looking at graduates. The program will be able to bridge the gap between academia, workforce, and be increasing your chances of getting hired. And career development, I'm looking at people who want to switch career. You want to get knowledge in another department, you'll be able to acquire role-based training and enhance your career. So I think that is something that I'll say with it. And the different departments that GPAP is looking out to, you're looking at human resource, accounting and finance, digital marketing, sales and marketing, software engineering, proposal writing and fundraising, multimedia and production, research and projects. So those are some of the departments that we are targeting. So yes, and a quick snapshot. This is some of the marketing materials that you can use maybe to promote on your WhatsApp statuses, maybe on your social media side, that you can be able to send to your friends maybe. Like you can see the different pathways that I talked about. And yeah, what wise men quote say, Tell me I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. This was from Benjamin Franklin. Apprenticeship is not the most natural way of learning. It allows skills to be passed down while fostering discipline, humility, and mastery. That was by Robert Greene, and the best education doesn't always happen in a classroom. Apprenticeships empower people to learn by doing, ensuring that knowledge is lived and not just memorized. This was by Malcolm Gladwell. So the program provides you with the tools and experience while leveraging passion and interest in what you're doing. So how to be part of this program, and the program comes at a cost of 2.5 million, but if you sign up today, the program comes at a 40% discount, which leads you to 1.5. That is if you sign up today. And if you recommend someone, Bill, and you'll be able to get a 10% discount on the program. If you want to attend these webinars, invite your friends, invite your colleagues, invite your family. These webinars are free. Don't miss out on this valuable information. Join GPAP today. GPAP offers employable skills, work experience, and career fast tracking. There are really limited slots available. If you join today, you'll be able to start your professional journey. Apply here on the website that is available on the screen. Those are the contacts that you can reach out to, and our website for GPAP that you can go to, maybe get more knowledge in something that you may not have understood in the presentation. And yeah, I think that marks the end of my presentation. And without any further ado, allow me welcome the presenter of the day, Ms. Falda Chirabo. You are most welcome to share your insights. And by the way, she's someone who was part of the program, so it is very ideal to hear from someone who was really part of this program to get more knowledge and experience from such people. Yes, thank you very much. You are most welcome, Ms. Falda. Over to you, Ms. Chirabo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am loud and clear. Kenneth.
Very, yes.
Okay, so I would love to welcome everyone who has decided to join the call today. And basing off the topic of the day, I think that most of us are young people who recently graduated or are awaiting graduation or are still in school. Now, I graduated last year with a bachelor's degree in business computing, but if I could backtrack a little, I wouldn't have waited to graduate to make for myself a living, because the jobs that I'm getting are not in any way similar to what I studied. Because I studied IT, but all the jobs entail public speaking. So that means that if I would go back a little bit behind, I would have spoke more. Maybe I would have ended up in leadership as a leader at the university. And that could probably have taken me a lot further than I'm supposed to be. And interestingly, back at campus, I had friends who started businesses earlier on. And these businesses could be like selling clothes, perfumes, trips, taking people for trips. And at a point, us being in school, we used to make fun of them because we felt like we would call them hustlers. And it came off as funny. But right now, I actually admire them for the enthusiasm they had back then, because they are way ahead of us right now. Because I have a friend who started off selling these clothes of downtown. Yeah? She would go and get some, and then she sells them at 10,000. But right now, she's actually selling things for should I say furniture, things for Airbnbs and all that. So there's a lot of growth that she attained between that period and now. So that starts off my presentation of today with a topic called Establishing a Winning Career as a Student or a Fresh Graduate. Now, I'll start off again with a quote that says that your future does not start after graduation, it starts now. If you're currently in school, if you're currently at the university, your future has already started. As young people, we always tend to have the belief that the future probably starts when we've accumulated a lot of money, or when we are working the perfect job that we need, or the one that we envision for ourselves. But the future is now. The future are the things that you're doing today. And with that, I would love to say that according to the International Labour Organization, the ILO, 70% of the unemployed or underemployed people around the globe are young people. That is you and I. And these are coming from especially sub-Saharan Africa, North Africa, and parts of South Asia. Well, when we look at Uganda alone, the youth who are between the ages of 18 to 30 make up over 75% of the population, yet many of us face unemployment, underemployment, or informal work without long-term security, right? And gone are the days when we would make jokes, when we would sit in our primary classes and learn about these things that they would tell us that how to fight unemployment, and it would become job creators other than job seekers. But right now, where we are standing, most of us are seeking jobs and not creating jobs because maybe there is fear, because maybe we've been trained to think that that is how things are supposed to work. But I will stand here today. No, sorry, I'm seated. So I'll sit here today on my phone and tell you that you can be anything that you put your mind to. The only race that is between you and where you want to be is time. Because if you're choosing to chase a passion and to make a living out of it, you must be very, very excellent at it. If you are out there and you're probably an artist, you can't make that your career path by simply getting and earning a living out of it and establishing things that could be professional. For example, you're an artist, art, I mean like drawing, yeah? So you of course start selling off these pieces. And then along the way, you hire people to help you to get to where you want to be. There is a problem that I've noticed with a lot of young people today, yeah, or people who are self-employed. They tend to do everything in the business themselves. They're the managers, they're the accountants, they're the people who go and demand the loans. Well, well-known people say that if you're good at something, employ other people along the way who can help you do these things. You can't be the marketeer, you can't be the CEO, you can't be the brand ambassador for your brand. Hire people who will share with you knowledge so that you can be able to get to where you want to be. Anyways, getting further into the presentation that I have for you today, why is it important for you to establish yourself in your career at a young age? Many of us have waited until after graduation to quote unquote start a life, a career life. And I would say that the truth is your career starts the day that you get intentional, right? So many of us young people are sitting on a lot of talents that we have simply because we want to be comfortable being employed by someone else. Okay, it is fine to be employed by someone else, but in this day and age, things have changed. If you dated back 20 years ago, if you had a bachelor's degree, you wouldn't even have to apply for a job. People would come looking for you because so very few people had been able to attain that. But in this day and age, you cannot just take your papers anywhere, even though you have a first class degree. I don't know if some people on this call are actually first class degree attainers. Yeah. Or maybe you may know some of them. They're sitting at home peacefully. And in that time that they're sitting, they're not even doing anything different, building a skill or anything, right? We prefer to watch TikToks because we call ourselves the Gen Z. So we believe in soft life and that things are supposed to come easy to us. But that's not the case. The day that you decide to become intentional about your career, about where you want to be, is the day your life will begin. Because I find that most young people are in jobs of sales, yeah? And most of us hate it there because it's hard to convince someone to buy a product or to even just get them on board and believe what you're saying, right? But the difference with doing it because you have to and with doing it with intention is because you're actually going to get somewhere if you're doing it intentionally. Yeah. Personally, my first job was in sales and marketing for CBS radio station. And first of all, I had bias towards the station Then when I reached there, the people who employed me were quite conservative. If you're in Uganda, you know, these are places where you just can't go and stand and give you ideas because they'll tell you to tone down your kajanja, right? So they made me hate sales so badly. And I started just going because I had to show up, not because I had to make sales. And sales were the ones where I was getting from the commission to earn a living for myself, right? So I ended up losing. Straightforward. I got another job that is in sales and I loved the ambience of the place. And I started doing it intentionally. And who, guess what? Of course, slowly by slowly, you start to get where you want to be. Now, if you don't build your dream life, someone else will hire you to build theirs. I've interacted with a number of older people, and when you ask them, one of their regrets is the opportunities that they gave up earlier on in life, and this could have been in line with what they were doing for themselves. Like I said, I worked at CBS. My immediate supervisor, who was the manager, I asked him sometime what is one of his regrets. And he said that back then he had started a business in real estate, right, 20 years ago. And when he had a hardship with his clients, he ended up quitting the business because it wasn't paying off. He didn't have a lot of time to manage it. And right now, he's also still earning commission. He's chasing a dream of a CBS owner, or probably the Kabaka. And I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm just here to educate you. Right. So he told me if he could turn back time, he would have been more intentional about that business he started. So if you're on this call and you're probably having your own business that is let me say you're selling jewelry, you're selling perfumes, you're probably selling phones, do not give up. You should nurture your business like it's a child who requires to be fed just like anyone else, and learn something. Learn some financial what's the word? Financial knowledge, yeah, so that you do not be spending anyhowly from your business. So before you even get, the second part of this presentation is before you even get to look for a career or anything, know yourself. Knowing yourself is the foundation, and you could use the SWOT analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you know yourself, you know your strengths. I think most of us on this call have started courses, and when you actually sit with someone and they ask you what you want to be, chances are you won't even tell them what you studied. You will tell them something else, or you probably don't know yet what you want to be. So when you use this SWOT analysis, know your strengths. My strength is in public speaking. That's why I think that most of the jobs I'm getting now are in public speaking or just even speaking to people, right? Whereas if you asked me about IT, I swear to God, the way I would not attend lectures a lot led me to not understanding most of the things in programming. I had to teach myself. So I cannot stand up and tell you that I love IT. But if you ask me, I'll tell you something else. So when you're getting to know yourself and why you want to be in your career, ask yourself some of these questions. What excites me? Hmm? They say that if you do something that you love, you want to work a day in your life. I don't have to do sales because I may possibly do not have the love for it. So I'll feel like I'm labored to do it. But if you call me to speak to you any day, anytime, I will gladly speak to you because I'm doing something that I love. So what is the thing that excites you that anytime someone comes to you, you can do this thing, right? Secondly, you ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? Now, in other instances, you'll find someone who is good at negotiating and convincing people. Like if I sit down with you, I'm saying Alpha, Fiona on the caller, and I tell you to sell to me a pen. Trust me, I may not even buy one, I may buy the whole box. That could be your natural strength. So you are someone who could probably take on sales or something else that requires you to negotiate, right? So ask yourself, what am I naturally good at before you even go into the job market? Because you'll end up settling for jobs that you're going to hate, jobs that are not going to lead to any professional growth. Then thirdly, ask yourself, what problems do I care about? You could be shocked that some of your strengths are in community work, in humanitarian things, right? So that could be your strength, and probably some NGO is looking for you while you're looking for them, but you're somewhere seated in accounts, you don't even know anything about accounts. And I don't get on this call to discourage people who are in career life, but I'm giving you an option if you've not yet entered into the job market, if you're still in school or if you're still a fresh graduate. I'm sorry, I'm in office and there's kind of a lot of people, so the music is coming from my neighbor if you're hearing it. And some of the tools that you can use to ask yourself these questions are personality tests. You can journal your wins and your strengths. That could be something that could help you. Then talk to mentors, peers, and lecturers. I have a friend who I told that I have a mentor sometime, and they asked me, why do you need a mentor? Life is a teacher of its own. I'm a big believer of soft life, guys. There's no way I'm going to choose to hustle without knowledge of where I'm going when someone else could have been able to tell me what I can do to get there faster, right? And I'm not saying faster, but like someone who has walked the path that I've been through can be able to fill my cup in a way that will be beneficial to me. So that is exactly why you need a mentor. You could be in finance, you could be in some other departments, right? Get a mentor in the department of where you want to be. You could be wanting to be a musician. Look for someone who sings your same genre and work with them. Then, most importantly, as we talk about this, start with skills, not your degrees. You're going to go and sit somewhere for an interview, perhaps, and you have all the paperwork that you need. You probably studied in the best schools in Kampala, Uganda, but then you won't get the job simply because we do not have the skills. Degrees are good. It is paperwork. It shows that you're educated, but it doesn't show that you're worth what is being offered, what they are offering, right? Skills will open for you doors. First of all, learn. One of the skills that I encourage young people to learn in this day and age is communication, how to speak to people and how to listen. Yeah. If you can be able to speak, then you'll be anywhere because you'll be able to sit at tables and say your mind. You will be able to walk into an interview and convince people that you're the best fit person. But you find some people are so shy, and when they tell them to learn some skills, they would rather go on TikTok and learn about the best dress that has been out or the best dancing challenge. I don't know. It's a free world, but you can always choose better or the betterment of your life. Then also, it's a digital era age. Why is it there and you don't know how to use Excel and you don't know how to use Word, PowerPoint, but you have 24 hours in a day? My mentor tells me that we all have 24 hours in a day, right? But what makes the successful successful and the mediocres mediocres, whereas the failures is how you manage your time. If you can be able to spend 15 minutes a day learning how to use these software systems, you can be able to get somewhere. Then thirdly, teach yourself leadership skills and teamwork. No one wants someone who doesn't play as a team or someone who doesn't know how to lead. And if you're someone on this school, I think you should aim to be in a leading position, not a follower, right? And don't only learn these things, practice them. Practice public speaking on your social media platforms, right? Learn, young people, learn how to budget. Financial knowledge. Financial literacy is something that would have been taught to us starting off in secondary, because as the Gen Z, we love to go off the notion of what's that thing? We only live today, things like that, right? Tomorrow is not promised, life is short. What if yours is not short, and you wake up at 30 years old and you don't even have anything to show for? You've eaten all your money. Every other time you get salary, you're going for brunch. Guys, let's be guided. Then get real life experiences early on. I think the university kind of helped us here with internships. We were able to learn what is entailed in the workspace, but that was not enough because it was like 6 months. So try to volunteer, freelance. I see a lot of digital content creators right now who are approaching businesses, local businesses, and marketing for them. If you know that's your strength, why are you sitting? This is our generation. I love to tell young people that this only the bold only the bold are going to win this generation, because it's not a generation of door to door. It's a technological era. So are you bold enough to believe in your strengths and to push yourself, right? Then build your personal brand. Online presence matters. You can't have your social media platforms and you're only there twerking. These days, when you go for an interview, right? People ask you about your social media platforms simply because they want to know the person they are hiring. Now, you could have all these skills, but the minute they ask for your TikTok, the minute they ask for your Instagram, you have the wildest life. If it is a digital era, that means that everything counts. So be mindful as you build your personal brand. Let me give you an example, okay, of people who probably have been on TikTok. I'm sure some of you are well versed with Umra Moronji. That lady has built her personal brand from scratch, right? You see that right now. She was called onto NTV to air. Is it some show about lifestyle, right? Simply because of what she was posting. Hmm? So those are the things that I sit here and tell you about. Your brand could probably get you somewhere that your papers won't. Your brand, I'm sorry about the noise. Your brand will get you the career that you want. And don't be so small-minded, right? If you studied engineering and you're on this call, you don't have to sit and wait for someone to call you to their office to do this. Go on these social media platforms, start a YouTube channel and share this knowledge free of charge. And trust me, your crowd always finds you. That is how you're going to get employed in this day and age, other than sending applications elsewhere, right? Then, and again, personal branding, make yourself powerful. I love to walk into a room and without even speaking a word, I have people's attention, right? Because I know the minute I utter something, it will only double my existence in the room. So make yourself powerful and do not be afraid of this power that comes. Be someone who wants to play big, not someone who wants to play small. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sorry to use this notion. Life is short. Be someone who wants to be remembered. Yeah. And build your portfolio. This is through the things you'll be posting, the people you'll be interacting with. In this day and age, I am sorry I use that word a lot, by the way, in this day and age, but in this day, at this time, right, you need to be able to have to build your social network as well. This is through networking. You could be shocked that most of your jobs, if you're someone who is into deals, they won't be signed at the office, guys. They'll be signed probably in a gym, at an event, a networking event, so at a Rotary function. So embrace those things. And of course, my last point leads to the next point, network. Network. I personally attended to the GPAP that that Kenneth was talking about. And through this, he took us to an event that was organized by the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. Need I say that that is where I got my first job because I networked, right? And within 2 weeks, I was hired. So, guys, don't sit on yourselves. Every other day, they are posting these things. And if you're a young person and you're looking to hopping onto something right now, you're currently unemployed, GPAP will be the best opportunity for you because Kenneth doesn't leave you behind. Every time he's called to give a panel speech somewhere, he will go with you. And I remember by then, I was very much interested in speaking and he knew about it, right? So he was called on a panel to talk to foreign investors. Foreign investors in Uganda, and these were like Sudanese. There were many cultures. So I was already interested even before he could tell us more. And I told him to give me something to talk about. I ended up being the keynote speaker on that event. It was at Golden Tulip. And I was speaking about the business culture environment of how you can be able to invest and have a successful business, right? This is through simple networking. Of course, from there, I got some other connections. So do not be afraid. One thing I tell myself is the world is our oyster. We are here, the young and fresh. There's no need for you to continuously sit and blame the government for not giving you things when you know they're not going to give them to you in the first place. There's no need for you to sit and probably be against the job that is giving you that little source of income, because they require you to wake up early and the whole lot and do a lot of things. No one said it was going to be easy. And it's only the strong who can be able to win these things. Then the fourth step is to position yourself for the opportunities. Have a have a standing out CV, not just these things that we studied in high school. I remember when we were doing English, we studied how to write CVs, and that is so backdated, because in this era, right, CVs have changed. You can be able to Google the templates, at least use a template and fill it in. Then there's the interview preparation. Some of us don't even prepare for an interview. You go and reach there and you don't even know anything, the niche of the company, the CEO. So, of course, what do you expect? To get hired or not? It's not going to be happening. Then speak confidently about your value. As young people, when we are in these interviews, we tend to undersell ourselves because we don't know ourselves yet, right? They ask you, and will you be comfortable with this money? And they're probably offering you 300,000 for a job that requires you to work 9 to 5, right? Probably even until the Saturday. But you're willing to settle for this job because you don't know what you bring to the table. Know yourself. And don't be so desperate, because someone can smell someone can smell desperation from miles away. So yes. And as we move forward, again on positioning yourself, I would love to ask people on this call whether they're actually believers. I don't know, I'm saying Irene and Kelo. Guys, are you believers? Because if you're praying to God, pray for alignment and being at the right time in the right place, so that you can be able to position yourself. Like the example I've just given, I positioned myself to Kenneth because I already knew one of my strengths was in public speaking. And that gave him an opportunity. That gave me an opportunity through him to speak to a crowd of people who are willing to invest in a new country, right? Position yourself and not be scared of rejection. If they reject you, so what? If you know yourself, you will not sit and mope. You'll be looking for the next opportunity. We are young people. The fifth step I would say is stay hungry, stay teachable. You find young people these days saying they won't study anything, they won't read any more books. Why? Do you think that you have all the knowledge that requires you to be where you want to be? Or you just know these things that we studied in geography, the map of what's that stuff, British Columbia, that is not even helping us in any way? Or probably in history, the Maji Maji Rebellion. That is what you're comfortable telling people, that you know a lot in the world. Take short courses. Read about the career that you want to be in, then follow thoughtful leaders in your field. And lastly, or second last, we look at some misconceptions around degrees and source of income in this day and age. First of all, degrees are common, right? But skills are scarce. When you look at COVID, when you get back to COVID, a lot of companies laid down their workers because they were not making any money or anything. Or even just these NGOs of USAID, when Trump recently said that they're not going to give us foreign aid for 3 months. When you look at the workers they laid off, these are workers who would only be probably an accountant, and that is all you do for the company. You don't know anything else at the company, but you've been working there for 10 years. So when I say skills are scarce, be someone who have multiple skills. When they need someone in IT, you can stand in. When they need someone in accounts, you can stand in. When they need someone in marketing, you can stand in. And you can do this if you can dedicate 30 minutes of a day learning marketing, accounting, and finance. You'll be that person, right? Then employers hire for skills, mindset, and results, not just papers. I've continuously described this, so I hope we pick a lip. Then success isn't only tied to employment. I hope I make a point. You can do your thing slowly and steadily and get to where you want to be, or even further than you expected. Or you can climb the corporate ladder, and that means bearing what level entry comes with. If they tell you to go and bring tea for them, Monange, your manager has told you to bring tea, you go and bring it. Because that is the patience in climbing the corporate ladder, right? Then lastly, the job market has evolved, so don't be static. seek knowledge. Knowledge is what will distinguish you, right? Then my call to action to everyone on this call is pick one skill to learn this month. It's a new month. And you don't have to spend 2 hours, 1 hour. 45 minutes can be able to get you 45 minutes per day. I don't know math, I'm sorry. Times 7 days a week. I'm pretty sure that is already hours, probably 3 hours. Now, 3 hours times 4 weeks, that's 12 hours spent learning a skill. You won't be the same person by July, right? Read books, educate yourself. Don't be that common person who you can only sit and talk at tables where they're talking about TikToks that are trending. Be that person who can also sit and talk about politics, who can sit and talk about technology, who can sit and talk about anything else. And you won't be that person if you're not willing to invest in knowledge. Then lastly, guys, attend networking events. And for you to attend these networking events and position yourself and get because it's one thing attending, but it's another thing networking and actually getting meaningful connections. You won't get there if you haven't invested in knowledge. Yeah, I hope I make sense. And I would leave you with a saying that goes that the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read and write, because we all can. But the illiterate of the 21st century are those who cannot learn and learn and relearn. Learn new things, unlearn the old, and relearn what you thought you already knew. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful lunch.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chirabo, for such beautiful words of encouragement, of those insights that are not common on the streets that we pass every day. And at this particular point in time, I want to give an opportunity to the attendees. If you have a question, if you want some clarification, you're free to raise up your hand and then you can ask a question. This is also maybe one that you need to learn. Whenever serious conversations are happening, asking the right or noting the right questions, asking the right questions out of great conversation is also a skill that you need to develop. And so out of this conversation, I'm yet to see who that is. Andeku, Chris Pine. The opportunity is yours. You can unmute and speak to us. Unmute, Andeku, and you speak to us. For the rest, you can raise your hand if you have a question. You're muted, Andeku. Okay, looks like Andeku is not able to unmute because Andeku, can you unmute and speak? Yes, now we can hear you.
Sorry for that. I had a band passing by. I'm within town. I apologize for that. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to our guest speaker. I really appreciate what you said to us, and it's quite true. But out there, it's hard to start building a career from scratch. You don't expect to just land a job immediately after, graduating and all that. You actually, I just wanted to second what she said because I had the experience. I also graduated last year, and it was quite hard, really hard, to find a job in my field. But I was personally able to integrate, and I also did sales, and up to now I'm still doing sales. Though right now I'm doing it in my part time, and least landed, an opportunity within my field, and I'm really passionate about it. And I just wanted to wish all of you out there to take on the opportunity and be able to do career enhancement with GPAP, and you won't regret it. I personally want to do it and see the outcome of it, but I highly recommend, because I've been attending a lot of these webinars and they have helped me a lot in one way or the other. Thank you.
Wow, that is awesome to hear from you, Crispine. Any other person with a question? But in the meantime, I see one question from McLean Mary. And I think it is for you, Chirabo. Where did Ms. Falda study from public speaking? I think people want to join your crew. You can take that question.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, and thank you so much. I studied public Bilingual Leadership Academy, that is located in Iganga district. It's experience. You not only learn public speaking, but leadership and the soft skills that I forgot to talk about, like emotional intelligence, work ethic, to mention but a few. But if you want more on that, let me drop my number in the group chat and you can be able to ask. Other than that, I also do offer public speaking classes to campus students or just anyone interested within Kampala. We meet every Saturday. There are some gardens that are opposite Nakawa Total, the Total at Nakawa Net. Yeah, that is where we meet from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Currently, it's free of charge, but as the days go on, of course, we may have to cut some costs for the certificates. So I'll leave my number in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Chirabo. Any other person with a question? As we wrap, and for those who came a little late, I am going to briefly, just after concluding, I'll quickly take you through what GPAP is just after the session. But for those who were with us at the start of the session, I think no problem, you will be free to or it is just for those who will still be having a few questions. Chirabo has been able to share her contact in case you need to get in touch. You can get in touch with her and subscribe to her public speaking classes, and why not? So a very shy person be a good public speaker. Chirabo, you have another question? Chirabo, can you hear me? Falda?
Yes, thank you, Kenneth, and thank you, Rachel, for that question. Yes, a shy person can be a good public speaker, of course, with continued practice. But I don't think I believe in the stereotypes of being shy. I think you've just not yet known yourself to know what you're capable of. But once you do, you'll be able to stand up and be the voice that needs to be heard, Rachel. You can reach out to me for a long conversation.
Okay. So at this particular point in time, Asasra, you can ask your question.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity to share with us great insights about the future. My question is really about interviews. Me personally, I've really had a negative thinking about these interviews. Given the fact that I've done enough, I feel like I should give up on interviews and look for other ways of attempting to enter the job market. Because every time I'm called to do an interview, I feel there is someone who has an upper hand behind, and I feel demotivated to take up these interviews. Basically, what advice can you give me? Because I've really done enough and I feel giving up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that question. First, be specific on what exact challenge you're facing. Is it your mindset or something?
Maybe I don't think it's about mindset, but considering the interviews I've done currently, I feel I've done enough for me at a certain point to really grab certain opportunity at a certain level. Because really, in our Uganda today, someone may think doing an interview is like a wastage of time. So because there is someone behind who has an upper hand or who has a connection behind there, how can we overcome this?
Okay, first off, Sarah, thank you for that. There are some factors that are within our control, whereas there are those that are not, like the one you just said of they're already connected. But I do believe that there are still some organizations that are very lenient in this. And one of the situations I've seen in your submission is you do actually have a fixed mindset at a particular point, because if you're walking into an interview knowing that they've already selected people, then that means you're not going to give it your all. Yet it's supposed to be the other way around. Whether they've selected people or not, they've still called you to show up. So it's up to you to change their minds about whether they should have you on their team or they should continue with the person that seems to be connected with them. Because at the end of the day, this person may be connected, but they lack the skills. But if you have the skills, notice that I'm saying skills, not the papers, right? Because you're going to sit down. That's why they call you for an interview, so that they can get to put a face to the papers and to know more about you. So you need to be able to prepare for your for your interview, like you're preparing, I don't know, for the next win in your life, because it is, right? Or maybe problems. The question is quite wide, so there are many different perspectives on it. Or maybe you're actually going into these interviews not prepared. Like I said earlier, go when you know the CEO, go when you know the niche of the company, the products they put out, the services, their competitors, that whole thing. The minute you start speaking, even though they already have someone at the back of their minds, because at the end of the day, the panel of people or doing interviews is made up of at least 5 people, let me say. Not all these 5 people are connected to that one person, the connection person, right? It's only one person. And what that one person who is connected to that person has to do is to convince them that their person is worth the slot. Whereas for you, you're here to convince the 4 that you deserve this. And what are the chances that you're going to fail if you're prepared, if you have the skills, if you have the knowledge? I hope that answers your question.